Hi, welcome to our LibInsights forms training. This is a guide to recording library activity. My name is Arnav, and in this presentation, I'll be walking you through how to open, complete, and submit library data entry forms accurately and consistently using our LibInsights platform. In this training, I'm going to be going over how to access the LibInsights forms, what are all the available forms, what kind of features do we have on the forms, how to fill them out in general, how to fill out the forms specifically, going through each of the forms, and lastly, talking about our substantive changes in our reference stats tracker. Now, if you've already seen this presentation before, you can go to the side of the YouTube and click through the different chapters so you can see which specific section applies to you, what section you want to know more about. But other than that, let's begin. So, how to access our LibInsights platform. So the first thing you're going to do is on this screen for Lib apps or on any similar screen right here for answers, guides, or Staffer, you're going to go up here to the blue rectangle up in the top left corner, click down, and you'll see options here. You can spring to the LibInsights. You can also bookmark this page and keep it, but this is your home page. This is where you'll land when you go to the main LibInsight platform. Make sure you're logged into your Harris County TX email. From here, you can go directly to the shortcuts down here, go to record data to, click the arrow or click this rectangle, and you can see all the different forms that you can enter data into. You can also see a full list of forms up here at the top under datasets. So these are all the datasets that we have. For us, the forms that largely stayed the same between the transition from Desk Tracker to LibInsights is our community outreach, probate, our legal tech institute, notary services, and our patron gate counts. The forms that you shouldn't touch are our old law pod and our old reference stats tracker and our virtual desk stats tracker. This specific form is a reference form, but it is automated, so you don't have to touch the form at all. It takes in information on its own. And the last one is the reference desk stats tracker, but we'll cover that as we go to the end, towards the end of our presentation. Now, what are the features of a specific form? Let's go into probate. So to record data here from this page, you'll click on any one of these for that form. You'll click on it, the three dots, and you'll click on record data to go into it. Now, while the form fields are different for individual forms, generally you'll have an entered by field up here. You'll have a predefined entry at the very top, followed by below the entered by, you'll have internal notes, and then you'll have the form fields. You'll have the number of records to insert, and at the very bottom, you'll have either submit or submit and clear. Make sure when you're submitting the form that if it is your own email, it'll automatically populate to your own name that you are submitting it. But if you're logged into a different email, it'll pop into somebody else's, or for example, the law library email, it'll populate to law library. So just click here on the drop down and you can click any other name here that applies to you if you're the one entering the form for that time. Under internal notes, anything you type in here is seen within the staff. It can be about that, and it'll be recorded within that specific data entry. For some forms, they have different dates options, but largely they're in the month, day, year format, and sometimes they'll have a time option. If you just click into the text field itself here for the start date or for a date entry for the form, it'll automatically populate the date and the time also at when you clicked it. You'll have your form fields for the specific form that you're in. And then all the way at the very bottom, you'll have multiple records you can insert. If you click here, you can change the number to how many records you want. And what that will do is when you submit or submit clear, it'll submit that many records that you put in here of what you filled out within the form. Lastly, at the bottom for submit and submit clear, submit will submit the data entry, but it won't clear any of the fields here. So if you want to change one field entry within there, you can click submit, change it, and then submit again. To submit, if you submit in clear, it'll clear all the data, but before it does that, it'll submit it as a data entry for that form. So that's how to fill out a form generally. Now we'll switch to the form layout specifically, but for each one. So I'm going to go back to the data sets and I'm going to go to our community outreach. If I click here, I click on record data. This is the what it looks like for our community outreach. Again, so this is another example. If you click start date here, this has date and time. If you click into it, it'll show start date, start time, and it'll also show end date, end time. If I click it, I can also click the calendar icon in here to make sure I change the appropriate time that I want it to end at. If it was 2 hours from 11:26 to 1:26, this is how I would change it. Um, if I go back to our data sets again, I can see everything else. This is our probate. To look at it, this is what the probate looks like. You have your start date. You can put your presenter's first name, your last name, topic presented, go to your number of attendees, and then submit and clear. This is an example of something that we'll have called manage predefined entries. Here, if you click at the very top, you'll see the option to put multiple different entries. A predefined entry is essentially if you don't want to keep filling out the form over and over again for the same thing, but you will fill it out at different times. You can create a predefined entry. And this is what it looks like for probate. If I click here on probate 101, it'll automatically populate here the information that I saved, the first name, last name, and the topic presented. It's not static because if I go in and I click here, I can still change it. The entry allows me to change it, but it doesn't save it to the manage predefined entry. So if I go up here to the top and I click the empty box, it empties everything out again. But if I go right back to probate 101, the information I filled out after I'd clicked it was not saved to it. To create a new entry, you can click here to create a new predefined entry. Right here, you'll put in a new entry name, internal notes, fill out all the information here. And then when you're done, you can also put the number of records you want to insert. But when you're done, you can click Save Predefined Entry or click Cancel. We'll go back to our data sets again. This is our Legal Tech Institute form layout right here. If you click here, everything is self-explanatory, but the topics presented is a scrollable list. You can search through it. Make sure when you're just clicking other, you click other if your list isn't there, and then write specifically what the vocabulary is or the name of the presentation for it. And that's the main importance for this form. For our notary services, again, virtually the same as what was recorded within our desk tracker. You'll click on the start date, notarized count, or the number that you have notarized successfully. The denied count is what you've denied, and the total is the addition of both the notarized and denied count total. For notaries, especially only the first day of the month will be recorded because it is done by the month. So even if you click anywhere within the month, for example, in June, if I clicked June 15th, 2026, it'll still populate as June 1st. You can submit and clear after. Finally, for our gate counts right here, if we click on it, record data, at the top here, it'll say which date it is. It's always going to be Harris County Law Library. So for today's date, on the day before, for an example, on June 24th, I can click go. It has our start and our end date, and that's saved already. So if you notice that the end date here is 1/6/57/298, if I go right back here to the 25th and I click go, I can see that the number here is 1/6/57/298. I can just click use as gate start here, so I don't have to keep putting it in. It'll populate it here, and I just have to put the gate end date. Once I put it in, it'll save the half total because it does know that it is bidirectional, and it'll save it right here under number of visitors for that day. Okay, so the last important data set that we need to go over is our reference to stats tracker. This is the one that you'll be using. It's just called reference to stats tracker. Do not use the old one. This is old one. That's the old data that we're using. Um, okay, so to go over, it's a very similar layout except for a couple changes, and I'm going to lay out those changes, what that looks like. For our reference medium, we've added two options. Our VRD, virtual reference desk, that we're doing through our LibAnswer system. When the ticketing system comes online, you're going to use this option to record your data entries for your reference desk when you're on the virtual reference desk. We've also added law pod appointment. Since the answers and the form fields are virtually the same, if you are a law librarian and you've completed a law pod appointment, you're going to click here with the reference to stat tracker, but click law pod appointment so this transaction is recorded under the law pods. For our patrons types, they've remained the same. And the categories have also remained the same, the definitions. For requested assistance in another language, we've added Vietnamese. That's the only change substantive of that one. We'll touch on the subject of interaction in a bit, but onto the other side for referral to legal aid, if you click on the yes, it'll populate down which agency or organization. These are the list of organizations that we've added. I'll click them on the screen so you can see them, but it's AVDA, DRO. We've also added the Harris County ADA coordinator. We've also added the probate administrator, so Brandon, and then our special needs alliance. And this one specifically is for disability rights law. Um, and then for our type of request, we've added research instruction right here. Research instruction different from information. If a patron is asking about how to search our legal databases, how to search Texas Law Help, etc., that is research question. But if they're simply asking for information from our legal databases or legal sources, it's just information. Lastly, at the end for resources used during our interaction, the ones we've changed are Harris County government website, other government website, and Texas State Bar practice manuals. So previously on Desk Tracker, it was Texas State Bar family practice or family law practice manual, but this will also encapsulate the family law one, but also the probate one, the real estate one, anyone that's from the Texas State Bar practice manuals. For the Harris County government websites, this includes any time that you're searching case records, if you to look up patron information for their case, if you're going to just text to see courtroom informations, if you're doing any of those within Harris County, you'll click this option. If you go to the Supreme Court, aka if you're going there for wills, or you're going to the federal websites, government websites, you'll click this option. Now, the big substantive change, especially with Desk Tracker, is our subject of interactions. And so we've narrowed it down to these categories. If you click on of these options, only 3 of them will drop down into other extra options. Those are going to be civil matters, family law matters, and general library assistance and services. When you click on them, you'll notice that they've dropped down here to 3 different subject areas. So for civil matter subject, these are the subject areas. If it doesn't fill into here, click other civil and write the keywords of what that subject is. Same thing with family. If it's other, click here, click on other, and then write it down. And lastly, for general library and assistance services, we've added Lexis ebook account creation, social services, and notary services, especially. But there's no other option here. So the purpose of this is to kind of force you into picking some category within here in order to submit the interaction. So if you do click on one of these, please click on one option within these categories. So for an example, if I'm going for a family law matter, there's a divorce, but they're also asking, say, for notary services, click on the general and do click on notary services. That is an option now. Now, one thing to note, especially about this whole form, especially not just for subject of interaction, but also for referral to legal aid. If I click on these options, but I tell myself, no, it wasn't really a family law matter. Let's say it was a civil matter. If I click here and say it was an employment, If I go back, if I click on family law and I check it again, you'll notice that it doesn't actually check out the marriage or relationship that I clicked earlier. So if you mess up and you are within one of these three categories and you click on options within it, make sure you click off the option, you check off the option before checking off the main option. This form is designed so that you can go through it in one go through and one pass through. So if you do make a mistake, take it slow. Make sure that you've checked off the box. If you can't find it and you remember you did, you can always click it to make sure if you did check it, and then you can click it off again to check it off. Same thing here with referral to legal aid. If I click these options here and I clicked no, if I submit it, it will show these options even if I clicked no. So make sure if you didn't refer to legal aid, click off those options and then go back, click no, submit and clear. So this wraps up the presentation for us. This is the overview for what we have for LibInsights, how to record everything, how to access everything. If you have any questions, please reach out to me or to the other person that's designated as a help for LibInsights for you. Thank you for watching. Keep this guide handy and have a great day.